coming to you from Strings and Things Studio in Ventura, California. I'm Kaity.
I'm Ann. And I'm Karin.
And this is the Strings Unraveled podcast. Welcome to February.
Yeah.
What month is it? Right off the bat, we want to remind you guys that we have a Patreon. So if you are a fan of the podcast and want more, you could find us at patreon.com/stringsunraveled. So thank you to everybody who has taken a look and checked that out so far. We appreciate you. And today we have a little extra bonus treat. We did a little special interview with Silvia, who is a jewelry designer, and we'll get into it and let her, tell you all about herself. And I will pop that at the end after we go through what we are working on and what we finished. But make sure you stay tuned because we had a really lovely conversation with her. And yeah, so who wants to start with what are they working on? Karin, what are you working on? Nobody ever volunteers, so I'm just going to start picking.
Okay. I am working on another juniper cowl. I have another class. I have another class for it coming up, and even though I have my first sample in here, I decided to actually do a sample with the correct yarn weight. Mm-hmm. What a difference! I am crazy in love with this yarn. It's that Hobie Cashmere Blend Gradient.
It's a beautiful color.
It has a lot of yardage. And I'm getting to the end of the ball, and according to the pattern, I don't quite have enough, even though it's got like 800 yards.
It seems like the sort of pattern you could just stop, though, right?
I absolutely can, because I guess I don't know if it's one of those, you're making puffs all over. So how do you know how everyone makes puffs a little differently? And I guess I made puffs smaller here than I did with the other one. So I think I might have enough. It depends.
Nice.
I have about 7 more rounds, and then I'm pretty much done. I'm just doing a top border and a bottom border. So it's
cool.
Exciting seeing it move from, like, I don't know, what do you call this color? It's
like a
persimmon.
Yeah.
And then it goes to like more of a salmon, and then it goes to a different kind of persimmon that's
kind
more
of like
beigey.
a bricky kind of color.
Yeah, more of a brick. And then it's like, then it goes into the purples.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm into
You're at like a cool eggplant kind of color.
Yeah, I'm at the eggplant color.
Make sure you check out our Instagram, because we always forget to mention that we take pictures of everything that we talk about, or at least try to, so that you can scroll through and see what we're talking about. So
it's just puffs all day long. I'm going around and around in a spiral, making 7 rounds of puffs, and then doing an increase round where I have 5 spaces where I'll make 2 puffs instead of 1.
Cool.
And it's very, very, very relaxing. And as usual, I did not remember to wind off. You're supposed to wind off like 15 yards before you start, so that when you do the top finish, you'll have some yarn reserved, so it matches. So it's not going to match.
We'll have a contrasting border.
But I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it'll look like you did that on purpose.
Yeah. And then, so I did. So there you go.
Yeah.
Excellent
Nobody
job.
would ever know.
I dare you to correct me.
Oh, it's a dare? Okay.
No. Challenge is not accepted. And then I'm working on, I know I posted about it, the Divine Scarf. I'm about 2/3 through.
That
Nice.
is fantastic.
I
Tell us
love
about
this. Okay. It's 1 row repeat over and over again of offset half double crochet. And I decided I was going to make it out of Noro.
Gorgeous.
The pattern calls for 3 colors in a stripy repeat, but I talked to the designer, and she's even said, no, it could be a stash buster.
Yeah.
It can be it can be scrappy. So I've actually got 2 different types of Noro. I've got the cotton silk mohair. Is the cotton silk blend the
Tayo?
Not Tayo. It's cotton. Well, it's Furosode.
Ah, yes.
Oh, the chunky one.
Yeah, so it's a little more on the chunky instead of worsted, but then I'm pairing it with Kessie, which I had not known about before.
Cool.
So Kessie is more, it doesn't have the stripiness that, the self-striping that Nora's known for, but I like having, and it has less yardage because it's a little heavier. I'm sorry, opposite. Furosode is stripy, and Kessie is not. So I have like, it's nice. You get these narrow pockets of stripes, and then you have, it's just this, I don't even know what you call it. It's heathered, but it has all these really interesting little snippets of color. And yeah, the great thing about Noro is you want to keep going because you don't know what color's next.
Yeah.
Or even how they pair up. And it's a
Love
nice
it.
long one. I will not be doing fringe because it's plenty long on its own. And it's a really big hook too. It's like an I, or no, maybe that's not that big. An I or J or something like that. But yeah, that's why I'm working on.
How wide does it get? Because it's already pretty scarfy.
It is. Did I print out?
Is it more like wrap like?
It is
I'd
a
say
very
you have,
long
like,
scarf.
8 inches at least of width, though.
Oh, I'm not even done yet. No, yeah, it's a wide scarf. Of course, I have the pattern on my phone, not on paper with me. But
It's beautiful.
Or, let me think. Once again, I'm a liar. Here it is. I am just all about lying. And
Oh, that's cute.
yeah, okay. So it's a beginner friendly
That was
pattern.
on Camp Colors.
It was on what?
That pattern was on Camp Colors. That brand that's closing down.
Maybe something similar. This, I don't think the designer has done that yet because this came out, unless Camp Killers came out in February of last year.
Well, it's just something similar then.
Yeah.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
You can do the fringe or not fringe, and she does have like a little photo tutorial on how to make the fringe if you've never done fringe. She actually she tells you how to make them straight and everything, but as I did not save any of the Noro for fringe, I will not, and it's plenty long. Let me look. You asked how big it was. It is 11.5 wide by 83 1/4 long
that's a big scarf.
You've
without
gotten pretty
fringe.
far, though.
Total length is 87. Yeah.
You probably have, 8 inches?
I
there?
picked 6. Yeah, I'm a little short on it, but I don't care because I just picked 6 colors, 3 of each, and I'm just gonna go until I'm just about done.
I kind of believe like every hat needs a pom pom and every scarf needs fringe.
Oh, you're a fringe believer.
I'm a fringe believer.
It does look great with fringe.
Yeah.
But-
Anne's not convinced.
Well, I'm decidedly not a fringe
Oh,
person
okay.
because caring for your scarf with the fringe on it always makes me nervous.
Yeah.
So what I could do, is I could just do 5 skeins and save the 6th one for fringe.
You could do that.
That is a possibility.
So
You'll
we'll
have to
see if
decide
I-
when you get there.
yeah. I like the idea of fringe,
Mm-hmm.
but it is fiddly.
Yeah.
I like making fringe. I just don't like caring for fringe.
That makes sense.
I'm not as nice with my things. Anyway, there's a whole lot of other things, but that's all I'm talking about tonight.
Cool.
Because what would our life be like if it wasn't a circus of activity?
Yeah. Well, I'm working on Halloo. I don't know if that's how you say it, but that's how I've been saying it. Halloo.
That's
Which is
how I would say it.
It's a Caitlin Hunter pattern that we are doing as a class. So I have started ahead of my students, and I am working on baubles right now, actually.
That's what it does.
I am bobbling.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I love that color. Have you made something else in a similar color? Is that just your go-to color, like turquoise is for me?
I don't know if I'm sure I have. It is called Wild Mustard. It's Pearl Soho Good Wool, I think.
Oh.
Yeah. Which they make in colors now. It used to just be
So
natural.
exciting.
Very exciting. And I love this yarn. It's a very light. They're calling it a worsted.
Impossible.
Yeah, you could knit it totally out of worsted gauge because it's got some fluff.
Yeah.
Because it's just 100% American wool. But I'm knitting it at a DK gauge on a size 6, and it's going to be perfect for this sweater. I'm very excited.
It's amazing. The yarn itself looks very solid,
Mm-hmm.
but in your knitted item, I see all the heathered hues.
Yeah, there's like a little bit like touch
It's
of green. There's tiny little bits of like an orangey color
It's got
in
this
it.
darker undercurrent to it.
Yeah,
it's
it's
gorgeous.
It's a cool color. And this yarn is like real affordable. It's like 300 and something yards in a skein, which is awesome. And it's from Pearl Soho, which means it's
Shipped
fulfilled
from
in Southern California, so you get it like in 2 days, which is also awesome. So that's what I'm working on. I have finished the neckline ribbing, and I am maybe a third of the way into my yoke chart. But I'm having a great time.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. Did anybody else start a temperature blanket this year, or was that just me?
Just you. I am doing a temperature cross stitch.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, which
Okay.
I'm excited about, but really haven't actually started.
Oh, well. Then you're already behind.
I'm still
Well,
working
no.
through 2022.
It's good because they're just like 9x9 blocks.
Oh,
So
okay.
once I get my canvas set up, my Aida cloth,
Yep.
I'll be able to catch up pretty quick.
So I'm making a temperature blanket. I'm hoping that each podcast episode you can like check in on me and make sure that
Okay.
I'm still working on it.
You want some accountability, guys?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
got
I
a
have
color card.
I love the rainbow.
I have 10 colors of Super Saver because I was like, I'm just gonna go with
Yeah.
something basic.
and easy to replace.
Exactly. I just bought one skein of each because I don't know which ones I will need more of.
Yep.
Mhm.
I think I'm already gonna need more lavender. And I am caught up. I have to crochet today's row.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Oh,
this
I
is-
love it.
I'm just doing one row of single crochet a day of the high temperature, so
It's
within
a
my
great
range.
width.
It's yeah. So what I did was I did a swatch and I figured out my stitches and my rows per inch, so that if I have to make 365 rows, how long is this blanket going to be? And then I chose an appropriate width to sort of match it. So
Balance
it's a
it
very
out.
generous size
So
blanket.
it's 1 row per day?
One row per day.
Oh,
And I am weaving in my ends as I go, and I'll just
you're
trim
a
them all
good
off,
citizen.
right? Because I knew that I would not
You'll never
take
come
the
back
time
to
to
that.
finish it.
Yep.
So we had a couple days. My dark purple is my coldest color. I have 2 rows of that. And then we just finally got to turquoise, which means it's been in like the high 60s. It was 70 degrees yesterday in Fillmore.
Mhm.
So I got to put some turquoise in, which is very exciting. And I get to do another row of turquoise today. So I'm working on,
It's beautiful.
thank you, a temperature blanket. Very fun, easy.
I think one of these years I want to do one using the lows of the day.
Yeah,
Because we had a couple times where the snowflake went on my,
yeah,
on
Yeah.
my car.
It's
yeah.
our
I've
TV like puts on like the Google page
Uh-huh.
from Google Home, and so several mornings, which I'm sure it's even colder at you guys' houses.
Mm-hmm.
It's been like 35,
Yeah.
36.
It's been cold.
So I love saying, because I think 36 is maybe 2 degrees Celsius, and I'm like, stop opening the door! It's 2 degrees out there. And they're like, what? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
2 degrees. Okay, Celsius.
No one knows what kind of degrees you're talking about. I've seen a lot of beautiful temperature quilts recently where people are doing, like, you do like a half square triangle of the low and the high.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh, that'd
And
be
that's
cool.
pretty cool too. And that's like a quick and easy kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Do they do like 30, like the width would be 30 squares, so like each stripe, each like one row would be 1 month?
I don't.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how it's laid out. I haven't done that much research. I just saw one person bring in the top that she had finished of last year's temperature quilt, which was very fun to see. And then she had like month markers where it was just like a plain square between. And then she said she was going to go in and like she was giving it as a gift, so she was going to stitch like little hearts in for like their birthdays or things like that,
That's
Oh,
cute.
how
which I thought
cool.
was very sweet.
Oh my god, that's adorable.
Yeah, and you can get like really crazy with like, if it snowed, I'm gonna put bobbles in the row, or if it rained, I'm gonna do this.
Have you guys seen
Yes,
the girl?
yes.
The
Who
what?
tracks a bodily function a
Yeah.
day?
I
And
have
she
no
does-
idea what you're talking about.
She does texture, like she does like color. I forget what the exact thing is. Like
Yeah.
she does. It's a poop a day. So how many times she went to the
Fascinating.
bathroom?
Yeah.
Is
This
the
is a
color
real
maybe?
thing?
Yes.
And then the texture, like she did bobbles.
Yeah. It was pretty gross.
Yes.
I'm not doing that. I'm doing the
No.
temperature.
Well, so the other one I like, there's someone out there who set up at the beginning of last year, which I was very close to imitating, but I knew better. And I do want to do this sometime. A mood.
The mood
one.
blankets are
Yeah,
cool.
I really like that.
So you have colors assigned to different like
Yeah.
moods of the day. So if you had a stressful day, or if you had a content day, or if you had a, you know, a bad mental health day or a good mental health day, you know, you're assigning these different colors, which I think is pretty smart.
I like it.
Because then you can like take a look at your year
Why
and
is
be
this
like,
year all black.
yeah, or why
you
is
didn't
that
use-
month terrible?
Yeah, and you
What
didn't
can I do
use
about that?
any of your other colors, Anna?
Yeah.
No, it's not that dark. But I like that one's a little more appealing to me than the temperature one.
Yeah. Yeah. I just saw so many
I think temperature ones
TikToks
are awesome.
and reels of people
Yeah.
starting them. I was like, okay, fine. I'll do it too.
The nice thing about the temperature one is that is an objective thing that you can go back and find.
Yeah,
If
I
did
have
not track my mood.
I have been, yeah, that's the other thing. You got to keep track of it, right?
Mhm.
I've been pretty on top of, I don't always do that day, but I usually do like two. Like I'll do yesterday's and today, and then I'll skip tomorrow. But I have been able to keep up so far. It's only the 20. I mean, when we're recording this, it's the 26th of January. So I also asked James his opinion. I was like, should I put month markers? Because some people will do like a plain white row in between. I don't think I'm going to do that because I like the gradient of it. But I need to put a hot tip I saw was somebody said like put a stitch marker at the end of your month because then I don't have to go back and count. I'm like, which day did I land off on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That is a
I
hot
only
tip.
have to count from the beginning of that month because I have had to go back and be like, what day did I do yesterday's or did I not do yesterday's? I could be better about taking notes about that, but I haven't done that so far. And then I have a quilt I am working on for a baby gift. If you know me, I don't think this person listens to the podcast, but if you know me and you are pregnant with a baby boy, like
Close your ears.
just tune out for a little bit. So one of my dear friends is having a baby, and I am making the dog pile quilt from Pen and Paper Patterns.
Oh, that's cute.
It's very cute. It's got 4 big puppy blocks, and there's 2 brown puppies, and there's 2 gray puppies, and there's like a little pieced border. It's super cute. I finished the puppies. I haven't put the borders on yet, but so I brought it to show you my puppies. So there's my puppies.
Oh, they're so cute.
I just hit my
Look
microphone.
at that
Sorry.
face.
So this was
Those
really
faces.
fun to make. I had a great time putting this together. So and they've got little bones, and I need to put the borders are made. I just have to sew the borders on, and I have the backing, and yeah, it's really fun. It was faster than I thought it would be too, because I took one day where I was like, I'm gonna start the quilt. That day was just cutting. The cutting was like so confusing, and I was like, this is taking way longer than I thought it would. I should have known it would take forever. So one day was spent cutting. 2 days have been spent sewing. These are like Mondays on my days off. I've been like, I'll work on my quilt. And then this coming Monday, I will quilt it. So I have the quilt back already, and yeah, it was really fun and really quick. And this designer, Pen and Paper Patterns, she has so many cute patterns, and I want to make, I think there's a picture of it. She has one called Kitten Around, which is the same, but with, see, the little kitties with balls of yarn.
Oh, I like that one.
So I really want to make Kitten Around. Yeah, I like her designs. They're very fun. So that is the things that I am working on.
What kind of quilting pattern are you going to put on the dog?
I haven't decided yet. I really wanted, I was thinking about doing just like straight line quilting, maybe 1/2 inch apart all the way down, because it's a pretty modern quilt. But I don't really have a good setup for that, because I would need to do that on my domestic machine, and I want to do it at home on my day off. I have room to use the big quilting machine, which is like free motion.
Yeah.
So I haven't decided if I'm going to do like a meander or a, I don't know. I don't know yet.
All right.
I haven't decided.
Can't wait to see.
Yeah.
I have that tabletop.
I don't have
long
room.
arm. No, it fits here on one of these tables.
No, I know, but I have a quilting machine at home.
Oh, yeah.
But if I were going to do straight line quilting, I would use my regular machine and just like sew straight lines. But at home, I don't really have the space for that dedicated to it. But it's not a huge quilt. I think it's 40 something inches square.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever do
48 inches square
anymore.
No.
not on my regular machine without the.
That's too much. That's too much quilt.
This was a tall person.
So those are the things I'm working on. Anne, what are you working on?
Well, I hate to be boring.
Uh-oh.
I'm not only giving you some repeats. So I am deliberately working on Dante's Tom 10 sweater. I want to finish it while it's still chilly.
Yep.
What is that method called that we talked about?
Oh.
12 hours at a time on the one project.
Let me Google it because I can't remember.
And I'm thinking, I've not really tried it.
Uh-huh.
Like, I'm like, I will put these projects aside and I will do that.
It sounded like a great idea.
But I'm a hyper fixator.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't do that.
Yeah.
Either I work deliberately on the thing until it's done, or I find something new.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working deliberately on Dante's Tomten. That is what I'm working on now. And I pulled something out because we're getting ready for our stash exchange, which will be done by the time you listen to this, but that's in the mood we're in. And I started like 5 different things I pulled from the stash exchange last year, and I finished none of them.
Uh-oh.
So I'm trying not to touch any of the beautiful things and just let other people enjoy the swap this year.
That's what I did last year.
I'm going to sort and I'm going to support.
Nice.
But I had started at the end on Sunday when we were all done and cleaning up. There were these balls of yarn all in sport weight.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Like all similar.
Yeah.
And so I pulled them out just for fun to see what you could do. There was Road to China.
Wait, did you just say you just started that last?
No. I started it last
last
February,
year.
probably.
Last year's
I
stash
talked
swap.
about it before. So listeners who pay attention might feel like deja vu.
Uh-huh.
So I decided to make Avena, and I was going to do the gradient with what I found, because there were like rose colors and green colors.
Mm-hmm.
And they're things like, oh gosh, what is this? Road to China from Fiber Company. There was some Jupiter in Malabrigo, Arroyo.
Mm.
And there's green and burgundy in the Road to China, which is a like super wonderful luxury.
Oh, that yarn's so
yarn
nice.
that has everything nice in it. There's some Acadia. Then there's a Barocco yarn that looks almost exactly like the Acadia, which are my 2 greens, and I'm just alternating them so they're blending. Like,
oh
really
yeah, I would have
beautifully.
thought that was just one yarn.
Wow.
So I didn't, but the gradient didn't look nice because I'm making Avena. Let me rewind.
Yeah,
Avena by Jennifer Steingass.
Sure.
I get her name wrong sometimes, but if you know Avena, you know it. And that is a cream colored sweater with a gradient of like flowing wheat is what it looks like to me.
Oh, it's the one that like Xenia and other customers have done.
Yeah.
Friends.
And so I thought I would do that and use the green as the background, but there was zero contrast between the pinky reds and the green.
Oh, wow.
The value.
I did a checkerboard of them stranded, and I took a picture of it, and it was all equal gray.
It was all gray.
So there was a solid color gray, a nice big ball of this solid color gray. So I thought, why don't I make the background my gradient and do the wheat in a solid color?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm done with the yoke, and now it's just time for the stockinette body.
Nice.
And it's been sitting in my car, driving around with me since last spring.
It's been on so many adventures.
Yeah, right. And somebody
yarn.
was talking about wanting to start Avena, and we were getting excited, strategizing with the person. And I was like, well, mine's in my car. I'll show you guys what I did with flipping the gradient. And so now I'm like, I want to finish this.
Yeah. Oh, I like that sweater. I should finish that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I put this in my knitting journal because I was trying to carry a knitting journal with me last year and started off strong last year. But I mean, I didn't not do it. I just haven't finished anything I started last year.
Yeah.
I don't think I finished one sweater last year.
To be fair, though, you'd had previous years where you just were like a sweater a month practically.
Yeah.
So,
But I started that many sweaters. But I don't think I finished a one of them. Yeah, not a one. Anyway.
What about the Luminous Summer? Does that count?
Oh, that does
You made
count.
a couple of
Yeah,
those.
I did
Yeah.
make 2 Luminous Summers. I think those are the only sweaters I finished last year. And that's
fair.
okay.
That's
It
fair.
happens. I did finish other things.
Yep.
I always had something to report that I finished. But I don't know what I planned for the sleeves. I know I planned something.
Uh-oh.
And I thought I had thoughtfully divided the yarn.
Uh-huh.
But now I can't remember if it's like, I'm going to knit till this many balls of the green and try to make the green go into the sleeves. But I also have the colors I used in the yoke set aside carefully So I don't know if I was thinking about going back up the
into
sleeve with the gradient.
Do you know where your journal is?
Yeah, I do, but I just haven't put my hand on it.
Yeah.
Since looking at this. So hopefully I wrote it down.
It's in there.
I don't trust Past Anne.
No, when Past Anne was starting that, she was in a really structured place.
Yeah, but I mean, this sweater came along when that habit was starting to fade. So
well,
it's always a bummer when you think about a sweater like that, where like I'm gonna blend all these yarns together, and then you get to the sleeves and you're like, oh, I have to think again.
But I know I had thought it out. That's what I'm mad about. It's like I already
you already had that thought.
had that like the key was in the lock, and I'm like ready to go. But that is gone.
Yeah.
But I can figure it out again. I mean, even if it's not the way I planned it originally.
That's kind of why East Creek is still in limbo.
Yeah.
Because if I had written down my plan, I
I
had
feel
it
you.
so strong in my head. I thought I'm never going to forget
Here's
this.
our friendly PSA to take notes.
Yeah.
Please, because future you will not remember what
No.
past you was certain that you wouldn't forget.
I know that about that girl.
But
That past Anne has great ideas.
Yeah.
And future Anne is like, well, what'd you leave me with?
yeah.
What do we have here?
Yeah,
What
past
is that
Katie and
gorgeous
present Katie
color?
are like mortal enemies. Like, why did you do this to me, past Katie?
You monster.
Why would
You
you
do this all the time. When are you going to learn?
How many times do we have to talk about this? So
I need
I
to do one of those videos.
I treated myself to the 52 Weeks of Socks by
Mhm.
Lane.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have published it in softcover, and it's a much more affordable book now. It's $20 in softcover, and I'm not going to make all 52 socks. I am interested to see how many socks I can make this year.
I remember you talking about this last month, and I
well,
wondered where.
The book, I talked about it in the book.
Oh,
Book club.
never mind.
Because I wasn't verbalizing it before
So
the
go
year
listen
started.
to book club so
actually.
you know have a reference.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Just see. I have an Instagram account that is just about my sock knitting, which I don't do enough to have an Instagram account just for my sock knitting, but I feel like it's the place for it.
Yeah.
It's called 365 Hours of Socks. So, I am on sock 2, and we're in week 4 of the year.
There you go.
Wow.
But this one's kind of a hard sock.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
So it's a really fun, like, what would you call this? Like a dip pattern? Because you dip down 4 rows below, and
like
you bring
a tuck
Mhm.
or something.
Well, it's
or
not
no.
folding the fabric at all.
You're dipping down to pull up a loop.
A dip. I guess I'd call it a dip stitch.
Yeah. What's the name of the pattern?
So the sock is also called the Vina.
Oh, okay. Spelled the same way.
Yep.
Did the
Different designer.
so but did this working on this sock go? I should
Nope.
go pull out that sweater.
They're just
It
completely
was
separate.
unrelated.
That's
It
so
was when
funny.
I was talking to the other person who's going to make the sweater. I mean, when I looked at the name of the pattern, I did think guiltily, you have that sweater going in.
And then
It didn't prompt me to like pick it up though.
then current Ann said, "Shut up, old
Yeah,
kid."
do the
Old
sock.
Ann.
Do the sock, yeah. So this yarn is Perennial by Kelborn Woolen.
Ooh.
And it is called Neon Green.
Yep. Very appropriate.
Radioactive apple.
It's called Neon Green. Nothing creative there. And I call it like they see it. And it's a delightful color. This sock in the book, because the sock's all like beautifully photographed.
Yep.
The girl in the country
Mhm.
sitting on the stoop with her pretty knitted
Yep.
socks. So that sample sock is made in cream.
I was gonna say, or hers neon green.
No.
Then how much better would the photograph have been in neon green?
I don't know how easy this is to photograph.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think
true.
everything's
That's
better
true.
in neon green and hot pink.
Yeah.
It's the
Um,
same color as my Ghost Whisperer
Yeah.
thing that I
Mhm.
haven't touched.
Maybe this will help. Yep.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing with my project?
So every one of these so far, like they all have interesting constructions or stitch patterns. So I think there's a lot to learn in these socks, and they're all like their own little piece of fun. This kind of I'm just touching the start of this heel, in the gusset, but it feels like it's going to be a riverbed kind of construction to the foot, which is a capboardy
Oh, okay.
construction.
That's what I was thinking of when you said that.
But it's an adventure. Every one of the socks in the book is an adventure.
That's fun.
So I'm on sock number 2 during week number 4. And I'm just going to take them as they come. Maybe I make 2 pairs of socks. Who knows?
That's more than the pairs of socks that you had before.
That's right. Then I'm also working on my flower
Another
of the
thing
month.
called Avena.
No, you're hilarious. It's the flower of the month is called Davina.
Mhm.
No, I'm making a crocheted block a month as a class. Also, hopefully through the year, people will be interested in joining me to make a 3-dimensional crocheted block. So I do have our block 1 is here in the studio, but I'm working on 4 months at a time. So I still have to make my violet for February. And March is a daffodil, and April is a daisy.
So together they'll be like a flower bed, huh?
Oh,
For
that's
your
so
bed.
cute. You're adorable. So I'm not going to put the first set together in a blanket because that takes up a lot of space, right? And I don't want to make all 12 yet, which actually make 24. You make 12 boring flax. So I got these shadow boxes, and I was thinking of mounting them in a shadow box, and when they're all done, hanging them in the hallway room.
Oh, fun.
Or maybe
overflow.
on here. I don't know. But then
That'd
I
be
got
cool.
thinking, because they're so fun to make, I can make multiple sets, or I can abandon that idea and put the shadow boxes away for something, or imagine that, return them, and maybe doing a garland.
Oh, there could
So
be
I
fun
think
too.
that's
a
what I'm going to
garland,
do with
like
the
a
first
pennant.
4 is do
Yeah.
it like a pennant and just string it across where we
Cute.
put our samples. So I'm going to start there
I like that.
Yeah.
You could always turn it into a shadow box.
later.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Very cute.
That's what I'm working on.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
That's fun.
Well, I guess we could just jump into what have we finished.
Karin, what have you finished?
I finished the pair of Marilla mitts,
Ooh.
and I did the largest size because I've always thought I had large hands, but the largest size is too large, a little
Uh-oh.
too swimmy. So they will go to my youngest child who likes bright colors, and I will make a second pair for myself because originally, you know how like just before Christmas you think you have like, oh, I can pop these out. I'm gonna make this pair for me, and I have 2 more. I was gonna make a pair for you and a pair for you, and then I'm like, it's 2 weeks before Christmas. What am I thinking? I've got already doing a lot, and I want to finish up the other projects that I'm doing for.
I've been there, Karin.
So
It might shock you to know,
Yeah, we can
but
relate.
I've been there.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make another pair for me when it
Yeah.
actually fits.
Smart.
Yeah, it was fun. It's very the only thing that really took any time was just doing the 1-1 ribbing where every knit is through the back loop.
Twisted rib.
Twisted rib.
I like it.
I
though.
like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just 4 inches of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but then when I was doing the second mitt, I popped that out pretty much in a day and a half.
I feel like mitts are one of those things that go so fast, like so much faster than I think it's going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, look at that. It's already half done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the things I like about the Marilla mitts is that they the pattern gives you 3 options. You can do fingerless, you can do the full mitten, or you can do the convertible, which is what I did.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I would do, I feel like that space between where it flips down always seems to pop open. It doesn't stay close enough. So I don't know how to make that a little different because I followed the pattern other than to sew a button and make a loop.
So maybe it's something that's just conceptual
Yeah.
but doesn't really work.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So, but I, and when I pop my fingers, pop the top so that my fingers can come out. It is handy
Yeah.
to have that. I just wish, but my thumb is completely closed.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that feels awkward. But I do like them. I just need them. I used Pishkun by which is a very rustic
So pretty.
wool blend by Farmer's Daughter Fibers, and definitely will make a second pair with a smaller size. But I like that she gives you a multiple. The mittens shouldn't be one size fits all.
True.
People have different hands,
Mhm.
so I did that, and I think, and then are we talking about things we finished for Christmas?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I did
gifted
a lot.
them all.
Yeah, I learned to what did I learn to do besides I signed, which I already knew.
Airbrushing.
I learned to airbrush because I wanted to add some details, and I'm like, I should airbrush that. I don't know how to airbrush. I'm going to learn to airbrush so I can do this thing.
Mhm.
So, and that's what I did.
Cool.
And I made the sweatshirts for both of you.
So they were ice dyed and gorgeous and custom color palettes for each of us. And then, what did you airbrush?
And then on Katie's, I airbrushed a big flower and lots of little bees.
You're
everywhere.
so cute.
And I think I just did different designs. Was yours
You
a
did
specific
like
design?
kind of like metallic bursts and
Mhm.
like starry kind of daisy, not daisy, but like stargazer lily.
Yes,
shapes.
that's what it was. More lily. Sorry, that's
Mhm.
exactly what it was.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking in my head. I will say having on mine because
That's
mine.
perfect because that's called the funeral flower. And I work at a funeral home.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't even know that.
Do you know why
That's
it's called a funeral flower?
because people use it at funerals, right?
Do you know why it's preferred at a funeral?
Why?
Does it cause?
Does
the
it
pe-
smell
the
really good?
death?
Yeah, they smell amazing. So they're like
They're very odorous?
Yeah.
Oh, they
So
cover
An
traditional-
overpowering good smell.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Okay.
Which is also why people tend to have a negative reaction to them, and whether or not
because they
they know
associate
that,
it with.
because you see them at funerals a lot.
Oh,
Fascinating.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Full
We
of
just learned
useless
something today.
facts.
what else I do? Oh, I made soap. I made a whip soap.
Oh yeah, that's wonderful.
So, not to put you on the spot, but did you try it?
I have not tried.
I have not tried
but
it
I
either.
have sniffed it.
Yes.
I am half done with
Oh,
mine.
wow.
Okay.
Mirabella
I use it
looked
daily.
at the presents you gave
Uh-huh.
both of you,
Uh-huh.
and she's like, they did a lot better than you did.
Ah,
Then I was
rude.
like- Then I was like,
That's
but
not
I
true.
put a nice gift card in each of them. Is it better now? Oh yeah, that's better.
Oh. No.
Well,
Child, you do not know.
Well,
you
it's
do not know.
It was awesome.
That's so funny.
But you guys both did very well.
Oh, thank you.
So, Yeah.
Cool.
I think that's pretty much it.
Nice.
Well, it's still again kind of like a short term between
We've done two.
Yeah.
our last recording and and the holidays were in there, which that's like lost erased time.
Yeah, and January, like I sneezed and it's the 26th already, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do that again.
Yeah,
I saw this.
It's your
yeah,
fault.
sorry. I saw this meme that was like, we went from January 1st to January 17th in 3 minutes flat or something like that. I'm like, that is exactly how I
Correct.
felt.
At the same time, I've been having some days that feel like 2 or 3 in one. So I appreciated
Oh, yeah.
someone saying, "Welcome to the 97th day of January." Anyone else with me?
Yeah, it's funny how like time moves like that because we're going on like a little overnight trip that I'm like very excited about and looking forward to, but I'm like, it's taking so long to get there. But at the same time, it's already the
It's-
26th.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's just next week, right?
Next
2
week,
weeks, yeah.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay.
But it feels like an eternity.
Yeah. No, it's exactly 2 weeks. Well, I talking about how fast this month has gone. I finished 2 sweaters.
Woo! Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
Okay.
Stop it. Slow down.
Sorry.
It's a Katie thing.
Sorry.
Katie's super fast.
That's not necessarily true
Sometimes
at all.
she's fast and sometimes she's not.
Yeah.
That's true.
Remember in 2020 when I wanted to do 12 sweaters in 2020 and
we
then
all
that
thought
like
it was like you'll
fell
do
off a
twice
cliff?
as- yeah, you'll do twice as
Yeah.
many.
yeah.
Twice
So-
as many as that.
No.
Some of us were just quietly going, ha, ha, ha. I'm just going to enjoy watching your progress because I couldn't even conceive of that.
Well, I finished the test knit that I was working on.
Ooh.
Which I don't
When you get to show it.
I don't know when the pattern will be out. The deadline has already passed for when it needed to be finished by, which I did finish in time for, and I submitted all my information and stuff. So I don't know when the pattern's going to be live. If it is out by the time this podcast comes out, I will say the name of it and the designer and stuff, but I can show you in person. Sorry for you in podcast land. I'll post the picture if I can.
Oh, it's so cute.
Oh.
So this is the ribbed pullover
Oh my gosh, that's
that I
cute.
just finished. I made it exactly to pattern, which was 8 inches from the underarm.
Mhm.
And it's cute, but trying it on, I'm like, I really think that this needs to be a full length. So I finished it
Mhm.
to where it should be for the pattern so I could give her my notes about how much yardage it took. But I think I'm going to take it out and add more inches to it because I think I want
8
it to
inches
be like
is very cropped.
Yeah, but it's a dropped sort of
It's already a
underarm.
long- it's probably like 16 inches from the
Yeah.
back neck.
Yeah, it's probably hits like the top of like my jeans, and it is cute like that. But I want it to be.
But you don't see
it's a good
yourself wearing it
sweatshirt
that
kind
way.
of sweater.
Yeah.
And I was taking a picture of it today for the podcast, and I noticed there's a nice little smear of makeup right here at the front. So I'm gonna have to, I don't know, do something to get that out of there. But, yeah, it's done. It's it looks funny because I haven't blocked it yet, so it's like all ribbing, and my sleeves look like tiny weird little tubes. But
It's always funny how things look before and after blocking.
Yeah.
I would make that sweater to specs because as you're showing it to me, I'm like, how cute is that going to be over a dress? But you don't wear dresses very much.
I
so-
have a dress, but it's the same oatmeal color
Oh,
as the
no.
sweater. I'm like, well,
Oh.
that's not gonna work.
that's that cute dress you just made, right?
Yeah, that I made last month.
That style.
It would be
Actually,
perfect.
would go well with the
Perfect.
oatmeal
It's the exact
dress.
same
So
color.
make a second
Even
dress.
so.
Yeah. I have plans
or
to make
a
another
second
dress.
sweater.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Maybe don't change that yet.
Okay.
I don't know. Just make 2 cents.
Yeah.
Exact value.
It's a good like cozy like sweatshirty kind of
Yeah.
sweater. So
I would make that and throw it over like every dress I own.
that would be cute.
Yeah.
So I finished that. And then I made it's called the Kima cardigan. Kima? I don't know.
Ooh. Oh, is that new from that girl?
New from that girl. I don't know.
The
You know, that girl.
Stone.
No, it's not.
Because she has a new sweater that's
Yes.
like this shape.
Yes,
This
no.
is so cute.
This is I bought this yarn, which is that Hue and Me yarn
yeah.
that's a major blank out of, that I was gonna knit this sweater out of, but having not touched this, it was way too heavy to knit it at this gauge.
Oh yeah.
But I had a sweater's worth of it, so I crocheted this sweater, which
I
is
love it.
rectangles. It's
That's
very
great, 'cause-
similar to that whatever the name of that sweater was.
Stony Shore?
There you go. That's
Okay.
exactly right.
I have so much Hue and Me left over, enough for a second blanket.
nice.
So maybe I'm gonna make a cardigan out of it.
Type this baby up.
I absolutely will.
It is by TL Yarncraft.
Ah, that's
Um,
why it's appealing to you.
It's
That's
a
why.
free pattern on her. I was going to say on her computer, on her website. It's probably on her computer.
That wasn't wrong.
What's
but
the name again?
Kima, Kima, and it's got pockets. It's very cozy wozy. The one thing that I will note that I did differently, I made it exactly to pattern. This is the like medium, and it's huge. So check the finished measurements because it's supposed to be oversized. But I was like, well, I only have the yardage to make like the medium large. It's plenty big.
Yeah.
And the pattern has you do a like a ribbed edge around the outside. She wants you to like crochet a strip of ribbing and sew it on, and I said no thank you, I will not do that. So I crocheted and attached it as I went.
Oh, yeah.
After after they were done. So I started at the bottom and I would like crochet across, attach it, go back. But it's got pockets. It's my like cozy sweatshirt, like pajama sweatshirt, if I'm
Adorable.
sweater if I want to sit at home if it's cold.
Which it's been plenty lately.
It has,
What
except
size hook? And is it pieces?
it is pieces, so it's seamed, like a slip stitch seam up the sides.
Okay.
Yes, it's pieces. What size hook is a great question. I think an M
Oh,
or a 10 millimeter.
An M is what the blanket was made from.
Yeah,
Nice.
Cool.
So it went very fast. That's why I was able to finish the sweater in the month. That this took me like a week.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's still a
It's
finished sweater.
very fast. It was very fun to make. It's a cool stitch pattern.
Is that the color that I didn't make enough? That I didn't get enough of?
I think it's called aloe. It might
Oh,
be. It's
it
hard
might
to
be.
tell.
It's hard to tell.
When it's mixed in with the other colors,
Yeah,
it
'cause
looks
that
brighter.
like, a little
That might
brighter.
be a little brighter.
Anyway,
This
Anyway.
looks
it's kind of grayish. Like
Yeah.
it's got like a toned down.
color way or
Yeah.
like
Cool.
dye lot maybe too.
But I highly recommend this pattern. It was very fun. It was very easy. If you make it and want me to show you how to do the crocheted edging, I would be happy to do that the easy way. Well, I thought it was the easy way. But yeah, it was fast and fun.
It was adorable.
And it used up all of the yarn that I... this was like... I had ordered it in like 3 separate chunks because I ordered from Joann's to like do store pickup, and I was able to get enough for the knitted sweater, which then I was like, well, if I'm not going to do that, I should get enough to do something else with it. So then I went, I think maybe it was in 2 different orders, but it was like 4 different dye lots.
Oh, and it blended perfectly.
Yeah, I can't tell where one ended and the other one began. I tried to be like consistent, like one dye lot was the back and one dye lot was the sleeves and one was the fronts.
Yeah.
But I can't tell the difference.
Very good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Those
Those are gorgeous.
Those are
both
the
of
2
them.
things I finished.
Very nice.
2 sweaters.
Nice. I have so many things I want to start already. This
Uh-huh.
year.
I know, me too. I'm really trying not to cast on
Yeah.
a bunch of things because I also bought a lot of yarn this
I know,
month.
oh my god, so much yarn. But I'm again like I have my goals for the year. I'm not going to verbalize them. I'm just going to see if I can do them.
Uh-huh.
But I have enough yarn. Like, that should be just my
That's
internal
your
dialogue
mantra.
all day, every day. You
I
have enough yarn. Seek for your dopamine and your like all those like brain chemicals that you need to be happy elsewhere. And because the other problem is I also have enough clothes, enough shoes.
Yeah, I have enough. But that's not fun.
No, it's not.
So, would you finish?
Are you finished with finishing?
My 2 sweaters that's all I finished.
That's all. You finished today's temperature, I just noticed.
I
too.
finished today's temperature stripe. Yep. It takes me about 15 minutes to do a row.
Very reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay. If you haven't heard, I finished my family's Christmas.
Yay!
Yay! I still need to make mine.
Well, that's next year.
That's okay. I might just start now and make the same rule I made for myself, like in August or something, which
It's
is
a temperature
work on
stocking.
it here. No,
No.
I have a plan for it. That's an interesting idea,
Okay.
though. Very interesting idea.
But not necessarily temperature, but the idea of doing a little bit every month.
I'm thinking my rule for myself in August was if I'm hosting drop-in, that's what I'm working on.
Smart.
And that's what got me pretty darn far until it was hustle time. Then I was working on something different for my Christmas presents for you guys.
Uh-huh.
And time was waning. I had about a week left. And I looked at what I had left, which, just so you guys know, so you don't feel like I was like, oh, yeah, I'll do this last minute. I have been working on your presents since November.
Yeah.
But I could not finish in time.
I did not feel like the present that I got was last minute at all.
Okay.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't get that sense at all.
So Katie had said, I miss our stockings with our puffy paint names that we used to put up at Anna Kappa.
I think they were from the dollar store,
Yeah.
and we had gold, like sparkly, puffy paint.
Yep. So I was like, what am I going to do? I was scanning Pinterest, thinking, what can I do quickly that looks nice? And I remembered that you had said that, and I thought, I'm going to make them smaller versions.
They're
of the
still
custom stockings.
huge stockings.
They're still very big
They're very
stockings.
large stockings.
Which
So
is
for my
important because
family-
you need to be able to put a lot of stuff in
Well,
it.
yeah, you know, my family, their stockings on the, like the, I guess the leg of the stocking is about 100 rows each, 100 rounds. And that's what my design space was.
Mm-hmm.
And something I learned about why their stockings were taking so very long is every single stitch in every row had to look at the chart.
Yeah.
Because they were not repeating patterns.
Right.
That
Takes forever.
Yeah. So when I planned each of yours, I was like, if I make these half the design space
Mm-hmm.
and I make them a little smaller around,
Yep.
and I choose repeating patterns, I can do
You can
this.
get it done.
It was the original idea that I had 5 years ago of like, this is as much as 2 hats. I could do that. So Katie's is dinosaur themed in honor of her Jurassic Park appreciation.
And various shades of yellow.
I am sorry that I did not get your favorite dinosaur.
That's
in
okay.
there. Which would you say for posterity's sake?
Oh, Parasaurolophus.
Okay, thank you.
A what?
A Parasaurolophus.
It's pretty cool.
He's my favorite dinosaur.
I made her look it up and show me.
Yep.
And then Karin, I took her love of the ocean.
Yep.
And I used turquoises. So Katie got yellows. Karen got turquoises. I will be making mine in like flip-flop shades of the turquoises. 'Cause yellow's Katie's color.
That's cool.
Mine's hanging up in my office on my pegboard.
Oh, cute. Yeah, so at Christmas time we'll do some kind of
So
display.
magentas are not your color?
I like magenta. No, I
Okay.
love all colors.
Because I was like,
But I also was going, because I'm hoping we'll just put them up next year.
Yeah.
I
Decoration.
wanted it to be in our logo colors.
I love that.
It helps that our logo
yeah.
colors
our favorite
overlap
colors.
in our
Right.
favorite colors.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm real proud of those
It's
two.
like we planned it or something.
Right? We looked at what we like for the
Yep.
business we love. So I finished 6 Christmas stockings.
Nice.
That's
over,
a lot.
over time.
Congratulations.
It's still a lot.
3 of them really since we last.
Yeah.
I had my plan with the leftover yarn of the Christmas stockings for my family was to make the matching hats. And so I finally broke down and bought one of the knitting machines.
You shouldn't have,
I know.
because somebody donated one
No.
to the stash swap.
No. Well, someone else would be. I bought it months ago, though.
Okay.
Like in September when Mindy let
okay.
me try hers.
I was thinking about getting one.
Well, you know. First come, first serve. You'll be here first.
Yeah.
Do I need space in my office?
I
Just
put
a
it right
table.
back in the box. Yeah.
Just the table.
So
Good.
I made some stripy hats.
Fun.
With the knitting machine. One for Mirabella and one for Alexander. Alexander has worn his. He took it to Portland and he wore it.
Yay.
Mirabella has
That's
thrown
awesome.
hers on the carpet and let the dogs roll around in it.
Rude.
Which, whatever.
Child.
That's the second rude
Which
thing I've
is-
heard her do.
Which is how
you
she
need it-
treats things I knit for her anyway, which is why I don't like knitting for her.
Yeah.
Alexander really wears them.
Good.
Bless his heart. And then I finished the first week's pair of socks,
Yeah.
which is called Intersections. It's out of Patton's Croy yarn,
Mm-hmm.
which
God
is actually,
bless you, it's dark.
It's full of dog hair.
I just thought that was texture.
Sure, it works because it's like a charcoal with a little heather to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was actually yarn I had in my stash because Patton's Croy is getting a little hard to find. I don't know if it's discontinued.
It's a good yarn.
Yeah. It's the kind of thing you could go to Michael's or Joann's and get a nice-ish sock yarn.
Didn't Fabric Town have it for a long time? That's where I used
They
to...
have a little bit of it, but
Oh.
they like have upped their prices as they go.
Ah.
So it's a charcoal color sock with it was a cable front, cable back, alternating, and it was very fun to make.
Are
And
they
I
for
made
you?
it within the week. Yeah, they're all going to be for me.
Nice.
None of these.
Good.
None of
Good.
these are going to be for
Good,
anybody
good.
else. And I love them. I haven't blocked them yet. I'm going to invest in some sock blockers if I really get the sock mojo going.
I don't think you need to block a sock until
No?
you wash it.
Okay.
Like you just put it on your feet and you wear it, and then
Yeah.
the first time you wash it, then you block it.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I need to get rid of all this dog hair though. Okay. The end. Oh, sorry. One more thing.
I was gonna say I see hats sitting
Yeah.
over there.
Well, I'm wishy-washy. Sorry for the
Oops.
key noise. I'm wishy-washy about whether or not the count is finished.
Okay, why wouldn't they?
Look finished.
They
You
look like
You
hats.
even blocked them.
She's going to grab hats. There's 4 of them.
I see. Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, February's is cute.
Are they all the
You
same
s-
yarn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all Germantown.
Do you
from
like it?
California. Yeah.
I haven't
do.
tried it.
It's not soft, so people come and they're like, "Oh, it's just," and no, it's not.
No, I like it
It's
though.
squishy.
It's woolly. I
Yeah,
like woolly.
It's woolly. It's American wool. Like
Yeah.
your-
Oh, I like
Goodwill.
it.
We need to like
This
write
is gonna keep me warm.
write a like diatribe in defense of a woolly wool.
Yeah.
Mm.
So,
I like a woolly wool, and this color is pretty.
Kelborn
It's
Woolen
cute
has
color.
a couple year of projects. They have a year of hats, a year of bulky hats, and a year of gifts. I'm set for the next 3 years. Guys.
Yeah, you're good.
So this year I'm offering their year of hats,
Love it.
and it's in their
I
Germantown
love
worsted.
that one.
You can buy a kit directly from them and come straight to class with it, or
That's
you can pick
awesome.
your own color, and the pattern is free.
Is that March?
This, ironically, the March hat is not green.
What?
This is January.
Oh.
Their January hat, I think, is a color called Peacock.
Well, I like that.
But I don't want to pick their colors.
I was gonna say, are
Yeah.
you doing the colors that they said, or
Some of them will end up being them because they're just the right color for it. And I'm going to buy one of the kits because there's June. You can make 2 hats.
oh, nice.
And they give you little dribbles because the pom-pom is different colors than the hat.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems worth it to buy the kit.
I love that one.
January is cables and bobbles and a moss stitch. And
Yay.
it has a super pretty finish at the top.
Oh, that
It's
top
gorgeous.
is. I know you had it on your hands, and as soon as I saw that like sea star
It
urchin
matches
thing on top,
Karen's Marilla mitts, we found out.
Oh yeah, same color, huh?
Yep. Karen's yarn is has a little more depth of color and texture, but
That's
still
gorgeous.
it goes. Well, anyway, I'm going to put a pom-pom on it and cover that finish.
No, I mean every hat needs a pom pom,
Yeah.
but
no, I don't believe that.
If you follow our Instagram, I'm going to do like a couple of polls so you can tell me what size pom-pom to finish
the
with.
biggest.
Yeah. Well,
That's my
The
vote.
smallest
I'm just
on
gonna
that
tell you what
one.
I'm gonna vote.
Okay.
Okay,
Cool.
in
That's
this
great.
case, the smallest one, so that it's more like an enlarged an enlarged bobble, and then it doesn't cover up the pretty part.
I'm leaning towards the yellow clover maker, which makes about 1.5 inches pom-pom.
Mm.
Because it doesn't cover up all the detail of the top.
Okay.
I like this one.
February has a double,
I love that.
I love that
double
brim.
Love it.
It's so luscious.
That's so great for hats because it's just it fits so nice. It's nice and stretchy.
Yeah. This one made me nervous because it uses a lot of the yarn, but I still have plenty to make pom-pom.
Uh-huh. It's cream color,
Cream color.
like a fisherman color.
Yeah, their sample is a gray. March, they did a color that's kind of like a browner color they're calling honey. And I think they just call this one goldenrod.
It's
I
like a
thought-
school bus.
Yeah. It goes with your...
Yeah, it's the same
Dang.
color as my water bottle.
I think this color should be called honey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like honey's a little browner, but it is very...
Well, and that's the one they have. This one looks so boring to me. This is the March hat
Uh-huh.
in the gold color, not green. I was surprised by that too. You can
It's
make
a pretty,
yours green.
it's a pretty pattern.
Not
It's-
everybody's Irish.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
So far, of all 4 of these.
I like the big rib.
It
Nice
has
deep
the
rib.
tubular cast on.
Love it.
And it looks the cutest on.
Very cute.
It's
Oh,
got
yeah. It's got a beautiful
little
slouch.
but you can still see the stitch pattern.
Very
So
nice.
this is my favorite one so far.
This one I
haven't
love.
put this one on yet.
Oh, the beret.
This is what I was looking forward to. Their April one is a beret, and it has
If
baubles
you've seen our
and puff
Instagram,
stitches.
you've seen this.
Yeah.
Although, come into the studio because in person you can see the close up of the flowers. much
I
better.
like the pink pom pom maker one. On
It
this
definitely needs a
Yeah.
pom pom.
It's
The
just,
smallest
but the
one.
1
just
inch
a little one. Like you're gonna go play golf.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it's so cute when you see the video of it.
I love a beret. It's so cute. Berets are in too.
Oh, yeah.
It's so cute.
That
I
is
put
so
this one on
cute.
yet.
Oh, I love the cable in the brim, the rib.
I love a cable in a ribbing.
I approve.
The French girl in me is very pleased.
It needs to be red.
Theirs was red.
Oh, okay. Then that's fine.
I want to make probably 5 of these.
It's really. I haven't knitted a beret in forever. They're so cute.
I think the last one I did was I was still a new knitter.
Please
So it's
follow
been a
our
while.
Instagram if you don't already. I'm sure you do if you're listening.
At Strings
but
and Things
at
Studio.
Strings and Things Studio. So in the next few days, I'm going to be posting some reels where you can tell me which size pom pom that I auditioned. I may or may not go
in
with your.
February.
Oh, good point.
Well, we hope you voted in our polls.
That
will have already happened.
now because I want to put the pom pom on.
Yeah.
Should I wait, guys?
Yeah,
until
you should
after
wait.
This airs?
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
everybody is listening can go and vote.
Yeah. Okay.
They
I'm
can
gonna-
participate.
Well, I have 5 reels that are already planned for February. Look at me.
Look
Yay.
at you.
And they'll be here at the studio without their pom poms.
That's
So
fine.
if anybody asks,
That's fine. They will have pom poms. I
they
promise.
will have pom poms, and encourage our locals to get on our Instagram account. I'm really happy that I got these done.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good accomplishment.
That's what I finished.
Yay.
That's awesome.
Good job, everybody.
Yeah. Good job, team.
Anybody want to talk about anything they're excited about? Anybody?
Mm.
Anne?
Yeah.
You go first.
Yeah, okay. So it's usually an Instagram account, right? So what's a lot, which is I think Sarah Watts. is her
Sarah
name.
Watts, she's incredible.
Have
I
you
love
been
her.
Watching her drawing challenge.
No.
She's doing. God bless her. And I might actually subscribe to her because the act of love that this project is. She's doing a draw with me challenge for
Oh, I see this.
365 days.
Ooh.
And I meant to start with her at the beginning of the because I saw it, right first week of the year, and I meant to start right away, but life,
Yeah.
I
love her.
and I think what I'm going to do is just jump in, on today's because
Mhm.
I was trying to start at 1 and work up to it, and then I'll come back to the first 20 so days of the year and come back into when a day I have time to do 2. And I did it before I went to bed the
Mhm.
other night, and it was so relaxing and so fun. And then to look at all the other things that people are using the source picture for, like how they're interpreting it. Either
Uh-huh.
people are doing it the same way or doing the picture just very straightforward. It's just a drawing challenge. But a lot of really cool artists are also just putting their own spin on the theme of the day. So
Yeah.
that is my absolute main obsession right now.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
She is so cool.
I already really admired and enjoyed her work, which she
Mhm.
does. Not only is she a painter and illustrator, but she also puts her work onto fabric, which all the things I love.
Yeah.
Could
Yeah.
you design a line of yarn too?
She probably could. And I would buy it.
Yep. So
Um,
that is my current obsession.
nice.
I hope that I follow it for the year, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, like
No
you were
commitment.
saying, like you can, or if you want to or not, speak your intentions,
Yeah.
or you keep them to yourself.
Yep.
And you do what you want to do.
Yep.
Karin, do you have anything? It's okay if you
I
don't.
did, and now my mind is blank.
You're
So we're
obsessed
gonna
with
call
the
it
black
no.
garlic, but you have to stay tuned to hear our interviewee.
Yes.
Enjoy the black
We
garlic.
have talked
Okay.
about the black
Obsessed with
garlic.
And I'm getting ready to be. I'm
Getting
preparing
ready to be
to be
obsessed with.
with kimchi.
I like that.
Kimchi
I
is like
I am-
my number one favorite.
I get
food.
ready to be obsessed with a lot of things.
I bought 2 books, and they came. and they came in a day, which is in 2 days, which is pretty quick from bookshop.org.
Mm-hmm.
2 books on kimchi.
I love kimchi.
And I guess it's a seasonal thing. You have different ones. There's white kimchi, which is more of a quick, fall, winter. They've got black butternut squash kimchi.
Ooh.
They've got so many different kimchi. A lot of these kimchis have fruit in them.
Interesting, because I always just think of the straight up lettuce
Well,
based one. Or
so the
cabbage
white
based one.
ones are more like what they call kimchi water. A water kimchi, which is not really water. It's more of a broth, and it has a lot of flavor, but it's not the one with the chili in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to look forward to making that kind too. I'm thinking I'm going to start with that one because I got to get my mother-in-law to eat it.
Yeah.
You have 2 happy samplers here. Because, I like kimchi. I don't say I love kimchi.
I love
like
kimchi. I
Well-
could just sit down with a bowl, like the jar of kimchi, and eat the whole thing
Wow.
if
That-
nobody stopped me.
That
Well, the
feels
kim-
acidic
okay, so
to
I'm
me.
gonna-
I know.
Okay.
That's why I don't, because I think my belly would hurt.
Okay,
Nope.
I'm going to stop now, and I'm changing my mind. It's not going to be for my mother-in-law. It's going to be for us.
Okay, cool.
So,
yeah,
for-
you don't have to make her eat
No,
it.
no. And I mean,
She'll start to want
I went
it
to
and be like, where are you
Acai. I
going
went to
with that?
Asahi Market. I bought a bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Smart and Final and got the largest bowl I could find to toss because I realized you need something big to toss.
Uh-huh.
And you don't just throw the flavors in there. You make a sweet rice paste as your base, and that is what gets spread between the layers
I've
of
seen
your
them.
Napa
I've
cabbage.
seen people making it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
But apparently, there is a really famous restaurant for kimchi in the Los Angeles area. I looked it up; it's still there, and I forgot what the name is because I don't have the book in front of me. But
Oh.
I'll. And the author
I'll
is
have to
the
report
daughter.
back.
The author is the daughter of the restaurant owner. She grew up with this kimchi, and she put her mom's recipe in there.
Nice.
So that's probably the first one I'm going to do.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So
Be obsessed with that already.
yeah. By the time this airs, y'all will have enjoyed
Fermented
Yeah.
foods. That's what
it.
you're
It's
into
so
right
good.
now.
I like fermented foods.
You know what I was thinking about with fermented foods and hat blocking? That one of the glass fermenter rings would probably be a really good blocking tool.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Just weight it. It's not reactive.
Well, fermented foods is actually really good for your digestion. It
Yeah.
helps getting the probiotics in there.
Yep.
Winter seems like a really good time to be into fermented foods and maybe drink. Maybe I'll find maybe I'll make a
Some
black
kombucha?
garlic cocktail.
Okay.
Maybe not.
All right.
Maybe. Who knows?
So I got tickets for Christmas to go see Shania Twain.
Ooh.
That's awesome.
Yeah, in LA, because she has a residency in Vegas, and it's like my sister, my cousin, my cousins, my mom, my aunt. Like, this was like childhood music because my mom or my aunt would always play it in the car when we were little. So we love Shania Twain.
It's a family
It's
affair.
a family affair. So my mom and aunt got all of us tickets to go see. So we're going on a girls trip to go see Shania Twain. And we had talked about, like, do we want to go to Vegas? That's kind of like a big production. She's doing one show at the Bowl, and we were like, we have to go. So
Oh, yeah.
That's a perfect venue too. It's so nice.
it's going to be so fun. So my mom was like, forget that we talked about this and pretend to be surprised on Christmas. So I did. But I have not listened to Shania Twain more than just like her hits that I listened, like, you know, the classics, since I was a kid. And I will say her music is not my style. I am not a country music person.
I am surprised to learn that you.
Except
are
that
Shania fan.
it's just one album that was like pivotal to my childhood.
Yeah, I can picture her. Also,
yes.
I know a lot of boys that bought that album, but maybe never listened to it.
Yeah, I can see that. Anyway, so I'm trying to like get myself in the mood, which is hard because, like I said, it's not my style. But in the same vein, I have been completely obsessed. This happens to me with like a music or a musical artist, and I'm like, this is my personality now. This is all I listen to. Orville Peck. Do you know Orville Peck?
No.
Okay.
You
So-
usually this is usually a good moment for me musically. So
Okay.
I'm ready.
So if you want to listen to moody cowboy music sung by someone who sounds like Roy Orbison or like Elvis Presley, Orville Peck is incredible.
I'm in.
He is.
I love Johnny Cash.
Yes.
I love Willie Nelson.
You will love it.
I love
So he is a.
I love old country.
Yes. So he's South African, but he's
Ooh.
based out of Canada. He wears a fringed mask and he never shows his face in public. So there's a
like,
lot of
Sia.
mystery. Yes. but his voice is incredible. So if you want to listen to a really good song, I would say start with The Curse of the Black and Die is his like top hit right now.
Okay, on the way home.
Oh, it's so good. I'm like swooning listening to him. And he is not the sort I can swoon over him. He's not going to be interested in me because he is very obviously a gay man.
That's fine.
But I'm like, oh, I'm in love with him, which is probably not the first time that somebody has been in love with I'm thinking like a Freddie Mercury kind of idea.
Well, I was thinking one of my favorite like
But I love
overheard conversations was when Karin and I went to Stitches and we Stephen West came to like be a guest at the pajama party event we went to.
Oh, wow.
And there was this really sweet young man. I think he was sitting at our table or we had interacted with him earlier in the day, or maybe he was with a yarn company. There was something where like I didn't feel awkward eavesdropping or standing in the ring of conversation. And he asked Stephen West how he deals with all the women who like fawn over him. And he says, I know it's from the best of intention, or something. He said, this is paraphrasing.
Yeah.
And I just treat each one of them like they're my mom.
Oh, no, thank you. Yeah. That's what I want.
So awesome.
And yet, though, like, you know, that comes from a place of like respect and love.
Yes.
So he like accessed what he could.
Yeah.
And he treats them with the same way, same respect and care that he would treat his mom. And I just think that's funny. Really sweet.
Yeah. So that's what I would say is the thing that I am excited about right now. Anybody else have any? We're gonna put in the interview with Kat here, so we'll check back in just a second. So enjoy the interview.
Our first ever podcast guest. We've had a book club guest, but we've never had a podcast guest. Our guest is Silvia. She's a very talented many things, but we're here to talk to her today about her excellent skills in jewelry design and making. Welcome, Kat.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here. It's really exciting to be here and just talk to some future creators. I hope there's some budding jewelry designers out there.
Wow. Yeah, our audience is usually excited to learn all kinds of things, so I'm sure they are.
We're always excited to bring the and things in.
Yes,
I appreciate that.
We cover the strings.
We're pretty on the nose with the string part.
Wire is a form of string, sort of.
Yeah,
it's a thing.
Very true.
I mean, you just
a
brought
thing.
out a bead stitching thing. That's all string. So I would love to start with just like tell us about where you're from originally.
Sure, yeah. I grew up in a suburb just outside of Chicago. There goes the accent right there.
Well, that's the only way you pronounce it, right?
I know. And you know what's funny is I'm so aware of it. But yes, I'm from the Midwest, and I've been out here in California for maybe 13 years now. But I always grew up, just kind of creating things, and my mom was a seamstress. I mean, she made all my prom dresses and everything, so I was always making the jewelry to go with it. And I was a dancer as well, so I loved making fun hair pieces, and so I really just enjoyed working with my hands so very, very much. So I feel that it was kind of only natural that I continued to do that into adulthood, but I'm originally from the Midwest area, now out here in the Los Angeles area.
Very nice.
So how long have you, you sort of touched on when did you start making jewelry?
Oh, when I was a little kid, but I've been teaching professionally for the last 10 years or so. But yeah, I got started with what I find a lot of people get started with, which is, either stringing beads on something or what was big when I was a little kid was doing macrame.
Yep.
So I did a lot of that. So speaking of a different kind of string, I used to make like little like hemp jewelry and like just little yarn pieces and things like that.
I probably made hundreds of hemp bracelets and friendship bracelets with embroidery floss and all that stuff.
Yes.
That was my jam when I was little.
A whole thing of embroidery floss.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was
I stole
was
my
really...
mom's.
Remember when it was like 10 cents when it was on
Oh my
sale?
god. Yeah.
Now they're like 2 load show. And it's like 75 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, oh no. Do I really want that friendship bracelet?
Yeah. One color. You can have one color. What's your one favorite color? What would you say would be like the first time you really felt like a jewelry maker?
Honestly, I was very fortunate enough to sell my jewelry very early on, and I think not that selling your jewelry is a form of validation, but it was just like, oh, somebody else likes it, you know, like, because your
Yeah.
mom's gonna love everything you do, right?
Mhm.
You know, but I think it was just like somebody else was excited to wear something that I had created,
To pay you to wear
and to
something.
pay, you know, and that was great. But I think it was just that first sale was like, oh, somebody else really is going to get some enjoyment out of something that I created, because I love everything I make, you
Mhm.
know. But I think that was the first time that I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm a jewelry designer. I can do it, you know.
That's very cool. I think that is a big validation when someone
Mm-hmm.
buys into what you think is cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, and to something that you created that came from your own mind that, you know, you feel very personal about. And I think that's a big thing with jewelry, and to know that someone else wants to wear something that I created, because it's like, I feel like, hey, I just found a kindred spirit, you know, somebody
Mhm.
actually likes the same design I do, and, you know.
So what got you like initially interested in jewelry making? Did you have people around you that did it? Like, how'd you learn? Did you teach yourself?
You know, so I went, I think the thing that really got me doing it professionally, I'll
Mhm.
say that, you know, because when you're a kid, you just want to make stuff, which
Yeah.
is cool. But
We've all done
yeah, I was fortunate enough to go to college in Arizona, and I remember going to a gem and rock show,
Mhm.
and I was like blown away. Just all the possibility, you know, like, and you get to dig through stones and all kinds of things, you know, and I think that was when it really hit me that, like, I could do this, like, I could create something.
Mhm.
And then just having what felt like, you know, being a kid in a candy store, I could pick something that I like was already designing in my head.
Mhm.
Like, I knew exactly what I wanted it to look like.
Yeah.
So I got to pick the exact gemstones that were in it, you know, and I think there's something that we've, you know, kind of lost. And trust me, I get a lot of my stuff online, but I still love going to gem shows.
Yeah.
Because it's that experience of I get to pick the exact stone that I want.
It
The
looks
exact
yeah.
shape, you know? And as I'm there, I'm designing in my head. I never go to a gem show without a sketchbook,
Mhm.
because I know that I'll see something and, you know, I'll take a picture of it, and I'll take a second, I'll draw it out, and then I go, okay, now I need rose quartz on this side, and I need hematite, you know? So I'll, like, it already, like, starts, you
Yeah.
know, cranking away. Like, that hamster just starts going on that wheel for me. And, that's one of the things I love about it. But that was really, when I was in Arizona, having the access to
Mhm.
putting my hands on some of that stuff. I think that's one of the things that kind of triggered it in me. That
Yeah.
I can do this, you know.
I think our listeners can definitely relate to that, like buying like yarn in person versus like online. You know, sometimes you just have to like see the color or touch it or like get an idea of
Exactly.
you know, you go to the Stitches, the yarn show or whatever, and it's like, oh my god, look at all these endless possibilities. Yeah.
I want to rewind a little bit.
Mm.
All right, tell us about your favorite prom outfit. What was the piece that you designed for that?
So, okay, I created a headpiece for
Ooh.
my senior prom, and it was a jewel that like hung down right at like my widow's peak,
Mm-hmm.
and then it twirled back into my hair, and it was all beaded and like crystals and everything. And that was even before I had the dress made, because I was like, I knew that I wanted to wear this piece, because I'm not gonna be prom queen. It's cool, but I definitely wanted
of your own domain.
queen of my own domain.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? This is senior prom. I am going all out, you know. And that was one of the things that I really wanted to do, is I didn't want to do like this like crown or this headpiece or this, you know, barrette or anything. But then I found that I really enjoyed creating that strung piece that went with a hair design. So it was a whole look, you know.
Was it an up or a down hair?
It was half up, half down. So
Oh,
it kind of
very
like
nice.
twirled back into like some little twists in my hair on top.
I love the
That's
idea.
cool.
I love the idea of designing an outfit based off of the jewelry rather than like having your outfit first and then going for the jewelry. Like that's pretty cool.
I do that a lot when
Yeah.
I travel, actually, because when I travel, like, my friends make fun of me, but I'll pick all my jewelry out 1st,
Mhm.
and then I'm like, all right, what are we wearing with this? You know, hair
Yeah.
up or down? You know, where are we going? Is it going to be hot? You know,
Totally.
it's the whole thing.
Well, that's very much like, where is your perspective?
Yeah.
So, like, where are you looking at this from?
Yeah.
I think that's perfect. That demonstrates your commitment to your
It does.
craft.
You know, I know some people, they design around footwear, and so I feel it, you know.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you travel a lot.
I do, yes. I'm very fortunate enough
So-
to travel.
What is your favorite country you visited?
Oh,
Ever.
man. Ever.
Yeah.
Ugh. You know, a place I would definitely like to go back to is Malta. It was just a really cool little country. It's in the Mediterranean, and I had no idea how crucial it was during, war times, and like how long that little tiny island has actually been there. It's just off the coast of Sicily, and just the culture there was really unique. And I think oftentimes when people travel, that you want to try to hit the big ones. You want to go to Spain, you want to go to England, you want to go to China, whatever it is. But sometimes finding those little gems is a really nice surprise.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was the thing that I liked about it. And I will say this as someone who has been to Tuscany and loves the Tuscan light. Everything in Malta throughout the day had this beautiful golden glow.
Ooh.
Like, it was like golden hour all the time.
Wow.
I totally get why they filmed Game of Thrones there.
Wow.
Because it is truly just beautiful light, and it's very inspiring there. And everything is made of like this beautiful like sandstone, this limestone. So the whole city kind of glows a little bit.
That's so cool.
It's very cool.
That
I'll
sounds
add it to my
magical,
list.
Yeah. I'm telling you, take a trip to Malta.
I wouldn't have thought of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're in Malta.
Mm-hmm.
What was your best day out, and what jewelry did you wear?
Oh, all right. So we actually had dinner on this beautiful castle, and it's this. It overlooks the water. You get to watch all the big, beautiful yachts come in. Fantastic. I had on this black, like boat neck top, and I wanted to wear this big, beautiful, like bib necklace, and I really, really wanted to wear it with this, and I was like, I don't know, maybe it's going to be hot, like it's going to be heavy.
Yeah.
So I actually traded it out for some giant earrings.
Nice. All right.
So one of the stitches that I love to do is I love brick stitch. And one of my favorite things is to do brick stitch on a curve. So it kind of became this beautiful fan
oh my goodness.
of these silver Miyuki Delica beads. And it was just like, they just shimmered, and I loved it. And and it was warm that day, so I'm like, hair's going up, and it was just these big earrings that I just love to wear.
Fantastic.
And then I forewent the necklace. I really thought that's what I wanted to wear with it, and I was like, I'm just not feeling it. So game time decision.
Did the necklace make an appearance elsewhere on the trip?
Oh, it absolutely did. on that whole trip, when we went to Malta, we were also fortunate enough. We did the south of France. We were in Nice for a day or two, and then we went to Monaco, and that necklace actually made its appearance in the Monte Carlo casino.
So
wow.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I had to wear all the glitz for that day.
It had its time to shine. Like,
It
literally.
did, absolutely.
So speaking of traveling, what sort of like travel shopping do you do? Do you like jewelry wise? Do you like to buy, like, can you buy like supplies and materials, or do you buy finished pieces while you're traveling, or
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
It depends. I always love admiring another designer's work.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always very proud to wear it. I know oftentimes I'll get stopped, and I've literally sold pieces off of my body.
Uh-huh.
But I like to wear other designers. I know some jewelry designers prefer not to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that. But there was a great glass designer when I was in Venice, and not only did they make incredible glass beads,
Mm-hmm.
but they had these beautiful pendants. And so it's an interesting thing when you come to be a designer and knowing that the glass drop focal that I used in this piece, we call it, kind of hang a thing on a thing,
Mm-hmm.
where it's
It's a
truly
technical term.
exactly where it's truly just an earring hook and maybe just a jump ring, and you put it together and
Yeah.
you let that pendant shine. Did I feel like I designed that earring? Not really.
Right.
You
make
like
decisions.
yeah, like
think that's where
I
design
constructed it. But really that focal was that designer. So, if anybody ever asks me about that particular piece, I kind of point them in the right direction. But
Uh-huh.
but yeah, I like to wear my own stuff, mostly because, people tend to ask me about it, and then
Mm-hmm.
trust me, the second I'm at a party or an event or a dinner and someone's like, "What do you do?" and I say, "I'm a jewelry designer." They're like, "Did you design that?"
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if
You gotta be ready.
Experience
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Like,
You gotta be ready.
anytime you're wearing any knitted, hat
Yes.
or anything, it's a creator thing.
Yes. We like to say like because sometimes I didn't. I just bought it from the store, but I'm like, no, but I could have.
Yeah.
There you
That's
go.
our favorite answer. So you mentioned shopping. What are your best resources now? Like, where's your go-to where you like to get supplies now?
Sure, yeah. So like I said, I still like to go to the gem shows. We have a couple out here in California that are really fantastic. If you ever see me there, please stop and say hi. But I like to shop at Eureka Crystal Beads. They have a lot of really great resources. And believe it or not, I've had good luck on Amazon, but I will say that you really have to read the fine print and don't be afraid to return stuff, you know? Sometimes, you know, you'll get it from like this third party and it's really difficult to know. But I will say that I have been doing this for a long time. So one of the biggest things that people don't realize is millimeters and how tiny they are.
Yeah.
Look at a ruler.
Yeah. So I sit there and I shop with my calipers, you know, even just to like kind of visually like, okay, 12 millimeters, like, you know, and I know things just off the top of my head, but when I'm trying to put things together in a design, when I'm shopping online, that's the toughest thing.
Yeah, because there's a size difference, but they next to each other, they all look the same.
Yeah, and I'll even look at some listings that have the ruler on there, and sometimes, like, just in your brain, you need another piece, you know, either putting a quarter next to it or something that you're more familiar with can be really, really helpful. But yeah, they blow it up to show, you know, the beautiful bead or pendant or whatever it may be. But I will say, it's once you know your brands, shopping for stuff on a place like Amazon or even Michael's or something like that can be really, really easy. You know, Beadalon is a good brand. You know that like this is what you like to use. You know, like Tronix is my go-to for my tools. They are very expensive, but they have lasted me many, many, many years. Yeah, you know, so
tools are worth spending money on.
That's how I feel. Like I understand that if you're just getting into it, maybe not right away, but once you kind of get the hang of it, those nice tools will help you out a lot.
I always get tripped up on the hole size.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, what I thought I could do with that, I cannot. Because I can't even get a needle through there. So you know, so that's the bead needle is super important.
Well, and I mean, even the needle has their own sizes, you know, just as you know, ladies with, you know, knitting, there's different crochet hooks and knitting needle sizes. So yeah, it all matters.
Yes.
All right, so jewelry making is a broad spectrum.
Sure.
What are your top 3 favorite techniques?
Okay.
Or like directions, because there's bead stitching and etc.
I was just thinking, I'm like, it seems I'm not a jewelry maker. I don't wear a lot of jewelry, so it's not something that like is inspiring for me to do personally, but it's something that I think is so cool, and I always love when like I'm seeing other people do it and I'm like, that looks fun, that's something I could try and do, you know. But it seems like Anne said, like it's such a big thing. Like there's so many different ways to make jewelry, you know.
Absolutely. I would say that, you know, there's obviously many different categories, but one of the things that I really enjoy is I really enjoy bead weaving. I know for some people it makes their head spin and they just absolutely hate the tiny beads. Yeah. But I love the kind of mosaic feel of it, you know, when you are creating a pattern. I love creating patterns. It's one of my favorite things to do. But I love peyote bead stitching. I'll do loom. Brick stitch is actually become one of my most favorite things, especially when you incorporate it into other designs. I think that's one of the things that I'm best known for, is taking, you know, a piece of bead weaving that you think would just be the bead weaving, and then I add chain to it, and then I add a gemstone, and then, you know, and then I add some wire to it. So it's really kind of what can I do to elevate that design. So I love bead weaving. I enjoy stringing, but again, that's where I get a little nutty in terms of like, what can I add to it? You know, always what can I add to it? Yeah. But you know, I do a lot of wire work. I would not say that I am a wire wrapping master. I think that people...
your wire wrapping's excellent.
The videos, the videos. I saw some great videos.
Yeah.
It's very inspiring.
Oh, well, thank you, ladies. Thank you.
You want to grow to improve it.
You know, and that's
always striving.
I was gonna say that's one of the areas that I'm always like, I'm really impressed with people who are just massively excellent at it, and like who really do some great things with like some flat wires and everything like that. One of the techniques that I did not think I would like, and it's probably one of my most favorite Zen things, and it's the project I take on the plane, right? And the reason I take it
you take on the plane. All right, we're tuned
Oh yeah,
in.
oh yeah, oh yeah. So the thing that I like to do is, because it's something you can set up and you can finish it, and then, you know, you don't have to use any tools, because that's always the thing. You know, usually when I'm doing like short hop trips, I'm not checking a bag, right? So I'm not checking my tools and all that stuff. It's kumihimo.
Oh, yeah.
There's a cross
I have done that
there.
before.
Kumihimo looks very similar
You have
to
that?
bead
Okay.
crochet.
Karin,
You know?
explain.
I was gonna say I will get you learning. Yeah, it looks really similar to bead crochet, and oftentimes people will say like, well, why would you do one over the other? I'd be like, well, because this one I don't need any tools for.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know, everything that you would do with it is soft. You can set up your disc, put it in your bag, and then just
Yeah.
kind of do it on the plane.
That sounds like it would be great for
what
travel.
you're doing.
Yeah,
It's
that's
very
all right.
zen.
We're in.
It just takes your mind off
Yeah.
of, you know,
Yeah.
whatever you're doing
Well,
at the
it's
time.
the
So
big girl friendship.
I was going to say, it reminds me of the friendship bracelets I made when I was little.
yeah.
The big girl's friendship. But it is legit and
Yeah.
elevated.
Oh yeah, and
You're saying the friendship bracelets I made when I was 8 aren't?
No, they are.
They absolutely are.
Yeah, because you're supposed to wear them till they fall off.
Oh,
But
I
I'm
certainly
sure
did.
There are some of your former third grade classmates.
Yeah. They're still wearing them.
Still
Yeah.
wearing them.
They're holding on.
But yeah, kumihimo has become one of the things that I really enjoy doing,
Mhm.
and I looked at it the first time and I was like, what is this? This is crazy. And then I'm like, all right, that's pretty cool.
What are some, because you've just shared that you really like to mix media,
Mhm.
what are some textures you have been doing in Kumihimo?
Yeah, you know,
Or
so one of the things that I'll use when I do like pearl knotting is griffin silk, and they make griffin silk in thicker, you know, sizes, and I was like, I bet I could put that in kumihimo. So that's one of the ones that I use a lot. Other than that, I'll use like an Eslon, but I like to create patterns with the beads that go on that, and I'm a big proponent of testing out what color thread looks the best.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I did a project, maybe a couple years ago now, where I thought white thread was going to look great throughout it. It was like white and gold and sand and
Mhm.
like rose gold. But then I finished it, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, you know what? I should have done a different color thread for each strand so that it twirled on the inside. And I did it, and then I looked at I do this a lot with my designs. I A/B it, and I'm like, yep, that one's better, you know?
Yeah.
One I was right, you know, in my instinct. Oftentimes, you know, I'm like, maybe I was fine the first time.
You go with your gut. Go with your gut.
But yeah, I love to kind of A/B designs like that because you don't know until you know. And I did a video on YouTube about editing your designs, and it was really interesting because I asked people to comment which one they liked the best. And the comments were all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, again, just, I mean, this is a creative endeavor, and people will always like something over something else, but you don't know until you see it side by side, you know? So it's kind of a cool thing about what we do.
Yep.
Yeah.
All very subjective.
Yes.
Exactly.
So where would you advise someone to start if they have never made any jewelry before? Like, what's a great starting point?
I would say start with learning your basic jewelry tools,
Mhm.
meaning your flush cutters, your round nose pliers, and your chain nose pliers. There are so many designs you can do just with those three tools.
Mm-hmm.
They're very, you know, and there are so many, you know, entry-level versions of that. But I would say start with hang a thing on a thing,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Learn how to make a simple wire loop. Learn how to open a jump ring, you know, and the reason when I started my channel, that's where I wanted to start. I was like, I got to tell people where to start, you
Yeah.
know, like the basics. Because you'll realize that people will go to the store and they'll buy a pretty bead or a
Mhm.
pretty pendant or a pretty charm and go, great, what do I do?
Yeah.
And that just using those cold connections like that, I think is a great place to start because then you can start to put things together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you start to build the foundation for yourself as a jewelry designer, because it's not necessarily about knowing exactly how to do the technique perfectly.
Uh-huh.
It's about seeing how it all fits together.
Yep.
And that's where it's like, get some head pins, get some jump rings. You know, there are some like great little multi-pack things like that you can get even at Michael's.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you want to go and you want to pick it out yourself. You don't want to buy it online. I totally support that. You know, Michael's, Joann's, anyone who will sell jewelry,
Mhm.
you can get one of those little cool multi-packs.
Yeah.
And just start putting stuff together and figure out what you like.
So you do like tutorials and things on your Instagram and on your YouTube, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if somebody is looking for like a resource, like first of all, shout out your Instagram or, you know,
Oh,
your
yes.
YouTube channel.
Yeah.
What other sort of resources do you find out there to be helpful?
Yeah, there are, I mean, I call it YouTube University.
Yep.
But you can find me at Silvia Designs,
Mhm.
and that's me on TikTok and Instagram as well. If you ever have any questions, if you're listening to this and you're like, I want to start, DM me. I get questions all the time, about various materials to use or, design ideas or whatever, because also the great thing about those platforms is that you can actually send me a video.
Yeah.
I've had people do that if they're stuck on something.
Mm-hmm.
But I say at YouTube University, the best thing you can do is try to look at a design that you enjoy at a store.
Okay.
And let's say you're like, oh, okay, I want to know how to make that. I've bought pieces of jewelry and taken them apart.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like, if you can take it apart, you can try to figure out how to put it back together.
Definitely.
And the more you watch some videos, you'll start to understand the construction.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's like, I want to say this to anybody who's just starting out. If your simple wire loops aren't perfectly round, they're a little smushed, that's okay. They'll get there.
Yep.
Don't worry about that. You know, try to understand that, like, how something is constructed and possibly why it was done that way. Like I said earlier, I like to try to turn things on their head. I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
But it's still all about those basic maneuvers. I think if you're having trouble, if you're stuck, contact someone like me who's nice, or if you're watching a YouTube video. I would say the tough thing is on YouTube, if you find a tutorial and let's say it's 6 years old,
Right.
that person might not really be checking their messages anymore.
Right.
So try to maybe find something similar that's a little bit more updated for someone who you can reach out to. But also take some live classes. There are a lot of bead shows out there that, are in any major city. Try to get in and physically take a class with an instructor.
Yeah.
Even if it's a very basic thing, you'll get to see them and how they do it and how they move their hands so that you're really getting a chance to watch. I know sometimes with YouTube videos, you're watching it and you're like, wait, get your hand out of the way, like I can't see, do it again,
We here at Strings and Things Studio are very big proponents for in-person classes. So yes.
Yeah.
We did not coach her to give that answer.
Well, but
yes, take a class.
But it's very true as a creator. It's like, wait, do it again, but slower,
Or you just need someone to point like right there, that right there, and you're like, okay, thank you.
Yes, like I just couldn't get it.
Yes. Yeah. So talking about other like online resources and stuff, can you shout out any other creators that like inspire you? Anything come to the top of your mind?
Yeah, so one of the creators I worked with, I have a long-standing relationship with her. She's an incredible designer, and I would recommend her to anyone who wants to get into truly mixed media, which is using leather and resin and crystal clay. Her name is Becky Nunn. And she is the CEO of Nunn Design, which is Nunn.
Okay.
And she is an incredible creator. She is always really looking to do something different. She's based up in upstate Washington, and she travels around. She teaches classes, but yeah, she is the go-to resin, if you want to kind of work that in. She does beautiful things that look like French enamel, just incredible. But I love that she not only creates her own pieces, so you can buy Nunn Design pieces, but the way that she incorporates them into the designs that she creates to help sell them are just really fascinating. It makes you want to go, like how could I do something like that?
Yeah.
How can I take what she does, turn it on its head, really kind of make it your own? And I think she's one of the most incredible designers I've ever had the pleasure of working with.
Well, when you are a self-motivated creative, it's hard to separate your work life and creative pursuits with your personal life. And that's something there's a hot tip you gave one time that I'm not sure you're going to remember having talked about. But I want to touch on what do you do to kind of make that work fun life separation in your day? Because you run your day. You're self-employed, self-making it. I'll tell you the flashback one later.
Okay, I was like, oh, now I'm nervous. I'm gonna hit it.
I wasn't sure here, but it's a good one. But what do you do to protect your time and make those divisions in your day to make sure that you're getting some balance?
I think, like a lot of people, you have to have some type of a morning routine. Now, sometimes it's 10 minutes, Sometimes I'm lucky and fortunate enough to get an hour to myself, in the morning. But having that set up my day, knowing the things that I have to get done and the things that I'd like to get done. that's how I have to compartmentalize things in some ways. Like, yeah, I'd like to, you know, work on a new design today. I'd like to work on a new video idea, but I have to get my newsletter done, you know, so you do the things that you don't want to do first,
Yeah.
you know, but then you get to have fun in the afternoon, you know? So I think for me, it's just about choosing the hardest things that you have to get done that day. But also there are some days where it's just not coming to me, you know, like it's just not happening.
Balance isn't a,
Like,
a goal.
Yeah.
It's
and,
not
and,
always attained.
and every day is not the same, you know? Like I said, there are some days where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm really inspired. I want to create. Some days I'm looking at my stash and I got nothing, you know?
Well, that's when you go shopping.
So it's dangerous to go shopping. But yeah, I mean, there are so many times where I'm just like, you know, I'm just not feeling it today. Like, and that's when I'm like, you know what? Let me take care of the spreadsheets that I need to deal with. You know,
Yeah.
Let me check into YouTube. Let me answer questions. Let me do that. So I think because there are so many different facets to what I do, I get an opportunity to go, you know, what can I do today? What has to get done today? You know, and what can I maybe work on later? I mean, like I said, doing Kumihimo was a little bit of a Zen-like experience, so I never really start my day with it. It's something that I'll do, you know, watching
You're chilling.
Reacher on,
Yeah.
on Amazon, you know,
Yeah.
like I'll watch my favorite show, and, and that's when I do that. Because
it's pretty pure eye candy.
Oh,
Yeah. I watched that in literally one night. Okay, Kevin, go to bed. It's fine.
no, it's fine.
I'll be up for a little bit longer.
Yeah,
It's fine.
stick with this.
Don't worry about it.
Interesting.
So the thing you shared, I can't remember if it was you or one of your friends.
Mhm.
We were all talking about like what we do to get out of our work day, and I think it was you who said when you get home, you get straight in your pajamas.
Oh yeah.
And you change out of your work clothes,
Mhm.
and you are done with your work day and in your pajamas. And when I'm in like a grind mode, I bring that out. Yeah. I'm like, when I get home, I'm in my pajamas.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
such
Sometimes
a wonder.
it's just like a little like reset in your brain too, because this happened to me the other night. Like I had a really busy day. I was at work. I came home. I like sat down and I'm like, okay, it's time to relax. I got my knitting out and I'm like, I don't feel relaxed. I feel anxious because I've got that like energy from my day. And I'm like, I think I just need to change my clothes. So I took my work clothes off. I put my jammies on and I was like, okay, I feel better now.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I have to go a little stronger with the medicine, which is I take a bubble bath and then
There you go.
That works too.
Pour a cup of tea, cup of wine, whatever
Yep.
is your flavor. But yeah, I think you know, especially for anybody who is working from home, and you know, I'm sure many people had that experience over the last several years, but you have to find a dedicated space.
Yeah.
If it's, you know, a card table, if it's, you know, a chair,
Mhm.
whatever it is, you have to kind of have a little bit of square footage that's your work square footage, you know? I'm fortunate enough right now to have a room at my disposal, but I know that's not the case for a lot of people. But when I started, I had a bead tray, right? The bead tray was my little station. Instead of having everything spilled over the kitchen table, which, you know, I know I'm speaking to somebody, but instead of having everything spill out, everything was contained within this small bead tray, you know, and it was no larger than, you know, a big notebook opened up, right? But that was my little sanctuary. That was my space, you know, and I had to have my space that I could move and, you know, it could travel with me. But that was the one thing that I would say. Excuse me. That would be the one thing that I would say to anyone is just make sure that you have a little bit of space. But yeah, changing into your pajamas, just changing out of work clothes, you know, it's the same where if you get home and you put on your gym clothes right away, you're going to go to the gym.
Yeah.
You know, it's so much more like, but if you sit down, it's probably not going to happen, you know, like, and we've all been there.
Yeah.
But anytime I feel really creatively stunted, I'll do something that is outside of my creativity.
Mhm.
Meaning, if I'm really stuck on a design, or I really don't know what to do, or I don't know what video to do this week, I don't know what people want, you know, I'll bake cupcakes. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I do something just creative.
Use your energy somewhere else.
Exactly. But still, I'm using my hands. I'm thinking that way.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'll be like, you know, elbow deep in batter. And I'm like, I got it.
Yeah.
You know? So it'll click in a different way.
Yeah. That sort of leads me into my next question I had was
Wait.
like,
I have a great suggestion. Next time you're feeling that way, can you make Scotch eggs?
I love Scotch eggs. I have not made them in so long.
I hear they're very labor intensive.
They are.
Yeah.
Kat made those once for a holiday, and
Mm-hmm.
she's never going to do it again.
I will.
They were
I
so
promise.
good.
maybe someday.
Easter's coming.
That's very appropriate for Easter. So I'm assuming that you are, this is an assumption, that you are like us in that you are a creative person, right? So I usually find that I can't always focus my creative energy on one hobby or activity or whatever. So I always like to say that I collect hobbies. I'm like, I've tried 100 things. They don't always take, but like I've dipped my toe in the water. So what other sort of hobbies do you enjoy? Like you mentioned, like baking, that are separate from your jewelry making.
Yeah, I love cooking. I'm always looking for like new recipes and new techniques and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I will say this. People always expect that at one point I've tried my hand at painting,
Okay.
and that is absolutely not true.
Yeah.
It's just one medium that I've always been I admire. I love art, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
put me in the Louvre and I'm happy for days.
Yeah.
I won't do it though. I know that if I start that,
Yeah.
it could be the very beginning of a new obsession.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And
we all have those.
Yeah.
We all
I
have
think
those.
I think I just admire it
Shoemaking
so
and
much.
leatherwork.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
I only have the book.
Um,
It always starts with a book, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
I know if it's going to be an
There are
It's
some
gonna be a whole
things I'm
thing.
not allowed to touch. I'm like, no,
Stained
we're not.
glass.
If you give a maker
Stained
a
glass.
Yeah.
cookie-
what was you had one too? What was yours? It was so good.
Leatherworking.
Leatherwork. Okay.
I'm like, I
Yeah.
would love to learn how to do that, but I just can't touch that.
Yeah.
I have
Not
a
right
cookie
now.
question for you.
Sure.
Have you worked with black garlic?
I have not worked with black garlic.
I have a black garlic maker, and it's so much cheaper
Ooh.
to make it than it is to buy it.
But she didn't even know it was the thing she wanted.
But now I love garlic, and I'm
Oh,
very
very good, yeah.
interested in
Black
this.
garlic is a whole nother level.
That's amazing.
It's instantly caramel. It takes about 7 to 9 days, and when it comes out, it's all the bitterness is gone,
Hmm.
and it's I don't know. This is not. I have some in my office.
Field trip.
All right. Well, Karin gets her garlic. All right. I have one more technical question
Sure.
for you. What is something that you added to your like toolbox or a less than $100 purchase that you made in the last year that had made the biggest change to your craft or your quality of work you're doing?
Okay.
And if it's more than a year, best ever.
give or take.
Yeah.
You know, I'd say one of the best things that I did, and this would speak to anybody who does stringing, is I got the Xuron 4-in-1 crimping pliers. And I did not know what I was missing because crimping pliers are not always the same.
Mhm.
And I was having a big struggle using just a generic crimping plier that the main difference between the two is one will give you a bean-like shape.
Yes.
So it kind of looks a little bit like a kidney bean.
Mhm.
The Xurons give you a V. And I have found that to be significantly more secure.
So is it a little better about separating the two?
Yes.
Because I don't trust, because I'll do the first crimp and then
Mhm.
I'll do the fold over, but I use 2 crimp beads because I don't trust one ever.
And I, because one of my favorite things to string is heavier gemstones, I would use heavier wire and bigger, and bigger. And it just got to a point where I was like, nothing's working.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is not to say the other crimping pliers don't work.
Yeah.
Because they absolutely do.
Or you find your way, like you
Or
used to.
you find your way. Yeah, you used it. But that was one of the tools where I was like, oh my God, where's this been? So I started using it. And it's also just an incredibly universal tool because it is its own chain nose plier as well. And I like having that one always at my disposal. If I need to repair anything, fix anything, that's probably one of my best go-to tools for doing anything like that, like stringing. So
Very cool. That's a
Yeah.
hot tip.
I like the things, the accoutrement that
Yeah.
comes with,
They're
like
tools.
I'm telling you, when I have that big, beautiful kitchen in my dreams, I'm getting a whole, like, pastry set.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
I
I want to decorate and everything, you know?
So you teach jewelry making, right? And we teach all kinds of other things. But, like, what is it about teaching that you love so much? Because I could tell you, like, the things that I love about teaching, and I'm assuming are probably the same reasons why you love teaching people to do the thing that you're excited about, too.
I think I love watching it click for somebody.
Yes.
You know, that's the biggest reward. And then to also watch somebody else go off and, you know, create their own business based off of something that they were able to do from your teachings. On my YouTube channel, I'm really focused on not only the techniques, but I'm really stepping into the arena of teaching you how to run a business. You know, how do you price your jewelry?
Yeah.
You know, like how do you deal with being at a show?
Those are really important skills that not everybody talks about and that you have to learn for yourself sometimes. So I think that's important.
And I think, you know, a lot of people who really enjoy making their own jewelry, sometimes they just want to make it for their mom, their sister, their friends, you know, and that's totally fine. The buck can totally stop there. But if you want to take it that step further and really just explore that, you know, I think that's one of the things that I bring uniquely to the table with my YouTube channel. But I just love watching it light people up. You know, they're learning something creative, and I think them being able to step back and go, I made that, you know. And the first time they get a compliment on something they made, like that warms my heart so much, you know. But also, I've worked with a lot of people who are, you know, they kind of want to just throw their hands up there and they're so frustrated. And I'm just like, no, let's take a step back. And then I like to work through it with them. And I never, like, I've had instructors in the past who were like, oh, just do it again. Just do it again. Just do it again. Just keep doing it the same way. I was like, if I keep doing it the same way.
Not helping you.
Yeah, I was like, that's not helpful.
Yeah.
You
like,
need to know what you're doing off so
Yeah.
you can do it to satisfaction.
Exactly. And I understand there are different teaching methods out there, but I really like to sit with somebody and explain, okay, here's what you did wrong. Here's what happened. Now, you could have kept going and it could have ended up like this, but let's take 2 steps back because you went 1 step too far and you were kind of correcting the wrong thing. I find that a lot.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, no, you're actually, you were fine there. It was 2 steps back that you made the mistake.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Here's how to adjust, you know? And then it's going, oh, okay, you know? And, and then that's a nice rewarding feeling. And kind of watching somebody work through it themselves, I think is helpful. And I think that they learn better as opposed to, no, just do it like this, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, people are doing this for fun, like to have fun.
Exactly.
Right, it should be
to
fun.
have fun and be creative.
It should be fun.
Let's be nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's very gratifying when because you can literally see the light bulb. Yep. Like their mind, they're like, oh, yeah, okay, I got it. And it's like, yes, I did it.
It's like a little magic with each
A little
person.
pop of energy comes off.
Yeah, they're like,
when they get
oh.
excited.
And I never know. That's what I always say. People are like, oh, I'm so glad I took the class for that one thing. I never know what that one thing is. Like, I wish I could know for everybody. I'm like, here's the hot tip. But it's like, I don't know. I'm just going to throw all my tips at you because I don't know which one's going to be the
all
best.
of my knowledge.
Yeah.
Yep. Every time, like, you see somebody successfully make something, too, to me, it's like they're little, tiny grandchildren.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
this
you
is my
mothered
baby.
this person into this new creative venture.
I'm going to put
They
that
went
right on the
off.
fridge.
Yeah.
And they went off and they, like, made their own little creative babies. And you're like, oh, there's my little grandbaby. We have creativity.
Yeah,
I've
I
read
had
your
a
life.
I had a student years ago, and you know, I kept working with them on a technique that is really difficult in my mind even to perfect, and they were so determined, and they were like, look, I just need help. Can you please help me with creating, like, just finishing this pattern? I was like, sure, I'm not going to design it for you. Here's what I might do. Here's 3 other options. Here's like 3 other roads you can take. So I was really like trying to present some options so that they still felt ownership over it. But what was really cool is, you know, they took all of the options I gave them and actually went a different route. But I feel like she couldn't have gotten to that.
Yeah.
You know, maybe unless I kind of presented some things that she was like, no, no, not quite, you know. But then she was able to push through creatively. And she ended up winning a competition with that piece.
That's so cool.
And I thought that was so cool. And I was like, see, I didn't do that.
Nope.
You did that.
Yeah.
You did that all by yourself, you know?
Yeah.
She's
That's
like,
awesome.
but you helped. I was like, no, I didn't.
Oh, you could
You know?
own helping a little because you unlocked that
And that's the
weight that
great
was on
thing,
it.
yeah, is like sometimes it's that click, that unlocking of, oh, I get it, or like, oh, now I know what to do, or ooh, what if I do this instead?
Yeah.
You know, and it actually ends up being a cool creative experience for them.
Cool. Well, I think we are at our about time limit for today, so I wanted to say especially like thank you so much for driving out here to come sit and talk with us. That was awesome. And again, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube at Silvia Designs. That is my YouTube channel, and then I've of course am over on Instagram where I do live tutorials as well, so you can kind of just hang out with me while I do some jewelry making.
Love that.
And of course over on TikTok where I share some extra little tips and tutorials. If any of you have any questions about something you're working on or want to get into it and just need a little assistance, please feel free to message me there. I am there to help. You know, that's the thing I love doing. I love teaching. I love helping. So
Cool. That's
Cat
awesome.
Silvia Designs. Thanks.
Yay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yep. Okay, well, thank you guys for listening to this month's episode of our podcast. Be sure to check in mid-month for our book club episode. We are reading a book called How to Make Paper When the World is Ending. And I can't, off the top of my head, remember the designer. Dallas Woodburn.
Yes.
Thank you.
Who she thanked us on Instagram.
Yeah. She also sent us a message. She's going to send us a little like care package because she's a local author. I did.
Oh, you did? Okay, good.
I did. So watch out for that episode coming in a few weeks, and be sure to check out our Patreon. And I think that's it. Strings Unraveled is a production of Strings and Things Studio, with Anne Leckervin-Cazzoli, Kaity Von Rader-Fraker, and Karin Wilmoth. Recorded and edited by Kaity Von Rader-Fraker. Find us online at stringsandthingsstudio.com or on Facebook or Instagram at Strings and Things Studio. You can email us at stringsandthingsinfo@gmail.com.